Hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome to Delta Games Train Simulator 2022. It's been a while, but yes, we are finally taking our first look at this platform, and starting off with, hopefully, what's quite a fun route indeed. So taking our first look at the recently released Tohoku high-speed rail mainline service, add-on from Just Trains, and this features two main parts of it. So you've got what we're going to look at today, which is the E5 series Shinkansen service between. So the full line is between Tokyo and Mori line, which includes 8 stations. In this case, we're looking at the line between Sendai and Morioka. And then there's also the second part, which features the local services, which is about 48. So this is about 125 kilometers. Then you've got the local line, the Kita-Kami-Morioka commuter line, which is about 48 kilometers, and that features 12 stations on the way. But of course, being Japanese Shinkansen, we can only take a look at the take our first look at the high-speed service part of this line. So here we are currently at Sendai Station, taking control of the Hayabusa 19 service. Shortly departing from Sendai in about a minute and a half, so we'll set the train up, prepare ourselves for service, and then enjoy ourselves at 320 kilometers, 200 miles per hour across the Japanese countryside. Show me the card, set the train up. So first thing I'm going to do is raise the pantographs. So we click on that. In the background here, the engines come to life, or the electrical system comes to life, and closed circuit breaker. All carriages are now live. We are going to open the door so passengers can start boarding the train. And in my case, we are looking at a departure time of 20. Is it 20? Hang on, I've got a timetable on my screen here. And how it works with ThirdRails Map. Yeah, it's about 12, 18, about 10 seconds on the departure time today. There we go. Let's go. Announce the go. The next station is Ichinoseki. So the service stops at 2 stations, Ichinoseki and Morioka, which is our final stop of this service. Doors are closed. We are going to move train into forward. Make sure the headlights set to white running. Brakes released. Let's increase the throttle. So one thing I do actually quite like about this train is that it does include the DSATC setup. So basically it's the speed control of the Shinkansen. You've got 2 main speedometers. You've got your main speedo at the top here, which shows your entire speed range up to 320 km per hour. And you've got a secondary one, which shows you a more focused view of your speed. So line speed at the moment is 80 miles per hour, as confirmed. Sorry, 80 kilometers an hour, as confirmed by the ATC. And one thing I will do is if you end up going too fast, so we won't showcase that because you know we're a good train driver, but if you go too fast and for too long, it will force the train to slow down. So we'll limit your speed so it don't go too excessive. It has also got a speed hold system, so you can just press the B key in this case, or press the cruise control buttons down but not behind the throttle. Now what this will do is it will hold the train at the current speed. So okay, so it's 79, it goes to 80, and so we'll just adjust the speed based on the based on what you're holding. Increase the throttle, don't need to put too much throttle in position 8 will do us fine. Up to our secondary speed limit now of 160 km per hour. As soon as we leave the outskirts of the city of Sendai, we then increase up to 320, and then it'll be fast cruising for the next half an hour or so to Ichinoseki. Platform 12 will be arriving on Ichinoseki in 79 kilometers. So down below you've got the local trains, sidings and stop points. A little bit too fast now, so just put a little bit of braking to the train going too fast. Also a bit of cruise control, just to stop the train from slowing down too much. I've noted that the cruise control can be a little bit not so stable at high speed, I think is the best way to put it. It's not terrible by any means, so frame rates can get a little bit droppy at times, but given that this is a really old train sim engine now, I don't know, do you expect it to run so smooth all the time at high speed? Maybe not, but it's not terrible by any means, and you do get quite a bit of fun out of the Shinkansen train simulator. So remember, you need to point to everything you see on the line side. I know it's there in place for Japanese railways to keep the driver occupied and concentrated, but I must admit I don't particularly know what they're specifically pointing at. Is it like line signs, like speed signs, alert signs, that kind of stuff? There's a lot about Japanese railway that I do need to do my research on. It's very interesting out there. Probably the most professional railway you've got in the world, and so you do have a fair bit to learn with. Does also include your interior, of course. Standard 3x2 seating. Seats A to E. Yeah, it's kind of the standard Shinkansen interior. So this train in particular, the Shinkansen E5 series, built since 2009, has been in service since 2011. Speed increasing now to 320 km per hour, so we can go all out on the throttle there. Let's do position 10. At this point, we're now free to go up to the maximum speed of this train. Very shortly as well, we'll be coming up to the Sendai Shinkansen depot. That'll be on our right hand side. Up a little layby coming up shortly. There you go, says set points. And then tracks on the outside will start to lower, cut underneath, and they will appear at the depot. Just over there, right hand side. Now approaching 300 km per hour, which is the equivalent of 187 miles per hour. 320 maximum speed of this train, which is equivalent to 200 miles per hour. So certainly not faster than you can get in the UK. Max speed is 140 with HS1 and 125 with the majority of the fast speed lines in this country. At this point, we're going to stick on speed control, cruise control, and just have the train to manage our speed for the next part of the run. As we get to about 2 miles or so from the station, we'll then start our slowdown as we approach. So you can see right now, the train is keeping to it to 318. We'll push that ever so slightly more to 320. But you can see it's not as smooth in my opinion as it should be. So you can tell where the coaches are powered and unpowered, because one thing that Shinkansen has which enables it to reach high speed is that unlike most trains where you have your front and rear cabs motored and powered, every single carriage has a motor and gives its own power. So yeah, it's a bit twitchy at high speed to keep it running stable, but you know, it's something I would like to see updated at some point from just trains. Apart from that, for the most part, it does run without too many problems. So we've got 80 kilometers to go, 60 kilometers to go. Looking at the arrival time in approximately 13 minutes at the moment. Also, as we approach the station, we will start to see the train's speed indicator slow down as well. So from 320 just about to 160, from 160 down to 80, and from 80 back down to 0 when we stop. Welcome More Games PA, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to chat, how are you today? So right now we're running a 10-car service, which is the standard short form for Shinkansen. 320 km per hour, 200 miles per hour. And going back to days of the construction of the Shinkansen, so Shinkansen stands for New Fast Line, I believe it is, or New Main Line. Essentially, one big difference between this and standard Japanese rail is that standard Japanese rail uses a slightly narrow gauge, standard gauge, to have their own, I can't remember the exact width of the track, but they have got their own smaller gauge, which does allow for, well, it doesn't mean it has got limited loading capability. So this uses standard gauge that most modern railways use, and given that Japan's not a very flat terrain, it's very hilly, very mountainous, lots of bumps on the way, one thing that they have done with the new line is that they've basically just gone right through everything, and yeah, it's given us what we've got today, which is a high-speed railway, one of the fastest in the world. It used to be the fastest when it was first opened. That was overtaken by the Chinese about 10 years ago, I believe. They have slightly faster trains, although the newer class Shinkansen trains do reach these like 450 km per hour now. I can't remember the series, like an E11, something like that. There are trains in testing which are a lot faster than this, and eventually they will retire some of the older series of trains in place of the newer ones, the more faster ones. I mean, even the original Japanese bullet train, the E0, sorry, Zero Series Shinkansen, that ran at about 180 miles per hour, so about 290 kilometers. So even this goes faster than the original Shinkansen services did. And they only get faster and faster with every new edition. Recently, not long ago, they retired the double-decker Shinkansen services, which weren't the fastest because they went through a smaller, more rural branch out to that one going to north of the South Island, again somewhere to the west. But they retired double-decker services in place of faster single-decker trains, and slowly evolving to a faster network than we've already got. But I must say, there's a lot of history in these old trains. You have a question, you never watched Train Sim or seen someone drive a train. What does the train operator do on trains running? So, well, train operator mainly focuses on the safety of the train, so there's no autopilot, no kind of hands-on automatic. Well, there are trains that are automatic, you just press a button, train does everything automatically, but for the most part, train drivers are all manual, in the case of manually adjusting your setup to keep the train running smooth. Yeah, so Filippo, this is one of the fastest trains in the world, the Japanese Shinkansen. I'm going to turn off the cruise control and just run throttle manually because it's a bit... No, it's not great, the cruise control there. So it needs to be something needs a bit of a look at from just trains. See, right now it's running a lot smoother already. Yes, so train operator essentially just staying alert, keeping aware of what's going in front of them, prepare for slowdowns and stops when required, and just keep running, just keep services running smoothly, basically. When I leave this as well, you can see that the itinerary doesn't quite run in a straight line, rather it zigzags left and right, left and right. And so when you have a look at the pantograph above the train, essentially by having the pantograph's cables zigzag, it just allows for slightly more even wear on the actual contact points up above. So you see, not staying in one place, it moves ever so slightly, and just allows the train to, you just have the actual contact spot, the pantograph, to last a bit longer. Not put it all the way in one place, rather sharing the wear over a slightly longer part. So, one of my all-time favourite foreign movies, based on Japanese Shinkansen, it's an older film called The Bullet Train, and well, it's without a doubt, it's meant to be a drama-style film, but the dubbing of it makes it more of a comedy. I watched the English dub for it because I honestly think it's the most amazing thing in the world, the English dub of the Bullet Train. Didn't get too well received by the Tohoku Japanese rail, but certainly, it's an interesting watch. If you ever find a copy of it, do give it a watch, and don't worry if you don't speak Japanese, because honestly the English dub makes it excellent. So yes, one of my favourite foreign movies, also based on the Shinkansen. Right, at this point we're now about midway there. to Ichinoseki, our first stop with the service. Again, it's the Hayabusa service. So it's Hayabusa service, train 19 to 19 trains a day. Ichinoseki forms our midpoint of this run. So from Sendai, we started out, run to Ichinoseki, and then into Morioka, where the train terminates. Bring the throttle down a tad. Not trying from accelerating too fast. Up to 3, 2, 1. And we get to about 5 kilometers from the station, I think. Or depending on when the ATT tells us to slow down. Probably then. The braking for this train. Because you do got to take a bit of time to slow the trains down. Don't go max braking and bring things hot straight away. Now just gear out the train. Smooth braking, smooth stopping. You just need to be, well, be very aware that you are running at 200 miles per hour. Yes, by building a new line and just bulldozing the way through everything, you've now got very little issue with inclines. Trains don't go up and down hills too often. One they do is just kind of get itself through the tunnels and mountains, but running on level rail, trains coasting is absolutely fantastic and just feels very good to drive. Yes, this train runs on tracks, Zane. There is a maglev in the works in Japan, but the Japanese bullet train, the Shinkansen line, all runs on standard gauge track. Same as the Chinese high-speed line, that also runs on standard gauge track. Now, there is a maglev out in Japan. It's only a short section of track which is currently being used for testing, but at some points in the future they will eventually build a new service around that too. You can see on the graph down below we are reaching a tunnel very shortly, and that tunnel does include a slightly steep incline, so we'll probably increase the throttle for it. Now looking at 15 kilometers to Ichinoseki, and therefore soon for ourselves to slow down. I can imagine in real life this tunnel here actually forms kind of the braking points for these trains, so drivers now know you're entering this tunnel, start applying the brakes, start gently bring train to a halt. Right, 10 kilometers to go. Here we go. That's telling me that it's now time to start sending train down. So we're going to reduce our speed to... initially we'll start off at 260 kilometers. Kind of just see where it goes from there. That hole right there, by the way, that's space for a little timepiece that Japanese Rail provide their staff. So my brother actually, I believe, has one from one of his Densha to Go plug and play sets, which actually one of the best things I've ever used. Yeah, so basically every driver in Japan has their own little timepiece, and it just sits nicely on their dashboard, and then to keep track of their time when in service. Right, 3 kilometers to go. down to 80 miles per hour now, so we'll increase the braking now. Not all the way, but just enough to allow the train to start slowing down. Right, so we will probably go for the full braking. Whoops, not quite emergency brake setting. That's way too much. Whoops. Now, hopefully, we've timed this alright. So, another kilometre. Whoops. Come on, rail driver. You're not that attitude. You've got another kilometre to go into the station, so we're running at 130. Come on, we're not on emergency brakes still. I'm using rail driver control at the moment. It's not perfect. I think it's locked it in there, actually, hasn't it? That's slightly annoying. Yeah, it's not perfect, the rail driver, but yeah, still not perfect with the Shinkansens. Unfortunately, that is a slight delay now on our train, and therefore that's proper slap on the wrist from the commuters here in Japan. You do like their on-time services. Right, it's Croydon Station, so 10 car sets. We're using the full length of the platform now. Right, that'll do it. Doors released. Passengers now board and disembark the train as they please. So this forms the midpoint of the service, so we've got one more stop, which is Morioka, where this train terminates. We'll be here for the next minute or so until our scheduled departure time. We'll carry on with the rest of our journey. Yeah, 10 car sets. It's actually quite a fun one to drive at that. Right, next station, Morioka. Doors are closed. Release the brakes. And start being our speed again at 80 kilometers per hour at this point. Then up to be 20 to get closer to our next station. So this stretch is about 90 kilometers. We'll get there in approximately 21 minutes on 9 speed. Which is good because well, you can see the bottom now on the left. Our arrival time, as scheduled, is 1300. At the moment, we're a tad bit behind 1323, but we'll certainly work at our slightly early arrival time. It's one map 2, where the line actually diverges at this point. So you've got one line, our line that continues up north. 10 line comes up north as well. That's more of a local service. Local stopping trains. So up to 320 km per hour. Open throttle out. And let's get a train up to line speed. You are right, Felipe. It's not always easy to get a train stop in the right place. It does take it does take a lot of practice. In my case, I'm a narrow gauge train driver myself, but you do get there over time. As you build up your route knowledge, as you build up your training and all that, you do eventually find the right spots for everything. So now up to 230 kilometers per hour, 150 miles per hour. So already going about 12 miles per hour faster than anything you get in the UK, top speeds. And even now, still on full throttle, faster and faster as we reach our top speed and line speed of 320. Right, reduce throttle down to about position 4, which is alright. Yes, balance things out between 3 and 4, keep trying running as steady as possible. Again, when I do hit inclines and descents, just throttle around there, keep trying running smoothly. But around 3-4 does work best for us at cruise. This game for some reason doesn't look as good as Train20. Not at all diff cache. This sim's been out for about 20 years now. Let me try and think. So the original train simulator when Dovetail Games took it over was 2012, I believe it was. And then Railworks itself has been around since 2009. So this sim's been out for, officially it's been out for about 12-13 years now. It's been running for 12-13 years. They update it every year with a fancy new title and a few new routes and that to come with it. But it's not a new platform by any means. It's been out for years and years now. But still gets quite a bit of support from the third-party community especially. So Just Train's developed routes for it, River Games has done routes for it, Dovetail Games themselves still support it with new routes. And so overall, it's still a very good platform that a lot of people do choose and prefer over Train Sim World. So to the physics, the sim, despite being the old platform, does feel rather good on its controls. So credit given where it's due, Train Simulator is still a very good platform indeed. It's just a shame that the engine, given its age, doesn't quite run as smooth as it used to. Especially with the speed of this train. High speed, 320 km/h, there's a lot for it to go on in the background, a lot of it to render, a lot for it to keep on running smooth. There are a few moments where you do get a little bit of a lag spike, but overall, doesn't seem to be running too bad for us at the moment. Dzień dobry, Sachiers Bolger, no, dzień dobry, Nikolai, dziękuję, jak się masz? Welcome, Emed, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat, how are you today? Which navigation work do I work on, Mark? I work on the Rice Supplydo Railway. The Rice Supplydo is what I'm on. In fact, I'll be there tomorrow, the 4th of our Christmas runs. About a weekend in a row. And between December 26th and January 3rd, trains will then be running daily from there on. So there are a few stations along the routes that our particular service, the Hayabusa, doesn't stop at. But there are. So that was Mizuyawa East. But there are other services that do stop at all the stations on the way. So they do run at the full 320 km/h. But given that there's only a 2-line section, and therefore having trains stopping at every station does take up time, they only have a few services a day that do stop at these stations just to allow trains running smoothly and constantly with the service pattern. Augur Drawyah, I hope you're in the same boat as well. Same boat? Which boat? Which boat are we all in at the moment? Right, so got another 60 kilometres to go now to Morioka. About 2/3 away, let's go. Well over halfway with the service so far. Look at the map section on the player, you'll be able to see our service in movements. This 19. Just north you can see where the local line is included the sim, kind of diverges from. A couple of route options also ahead of us as well, so we can split off either to the east or west from here in Kitakami, sorry, yeah, Kitakami, Morales has been there actually. Yes, Kitakami, and I've got east or west route. That will join us together just south of here in Chiwa. My Japanese ain't great. Also, my route knowledge even less. And it goes from there. You know that line from when you visited, when you lived in Hanwell, you used to be a member of the Western Model Rail Society in Acton. Our chairman, Stan Simmons, used to work on Rice. Stan Simmons! Gosh, that's a name and a half. Yeah, Stan Simmons, I believe he was one of the, I'm sure he was like a founding member of the RLR. Back into the 80s, yeah. Yeah, because the RLR, as it is now, formed in 1978, so I'm fairly sure if he wasn't a founding member of the RLR, he was definitely a one of the early members. I'll have to refer to the book. We all got a book recently published for the history of the RLR. I'm sure his name's in it. I'm going to have to double check later on. Yeah, trust me, we've all heard of them. There is, I'm sure also there is a photo of him actually at the RLR as well. This is, I might even go through our old photo archives, but there's a photo of him with the founding members. That's currently, I believe, on one of the locker doors in our mess room. Buzzing through Kita Kami. It's sort of a shame that we can't even catch up with the train with the high-speed cat. In fact, we can just about. I don't know what speed this thing runs at. Try and find a station up ahead. Get an idea of the sheer speed these trains they run past. So we've taken the easterly route, which takes us away from all the stations, fair enough. But if we just stick ourselves kind of on the corner somewhere... And very shortly, our train should just around the corner. Speed, eh? Nothing but speed. Single tone horn, nothing fancy. Not that horn really gives you much effect at high speed. Something's on the line, which is pretty rare from Shinkansen, given that it's all raised and separated from any other rail network and external factors. We don't have much to slow down and stop either. No, I believe there's only one or two level crossings on the entire Shinkansen network, both in the far south of the line. Well, for the most part, it's on the viaducts, away from the ground, away from anything that can influence it. And everything road-wise is either tunnelled above it or bridged underneath. So far, about 10 seconds ahead of schedule, so we'll have plenty of time to work on our approach into Morioka. This one a little bit smoother than our first stop at Ichinoseki. On the platforms with the platform edge gates and doors here in Japan. So this was Shin Hanamaki. So with most trains running at high speed through here, got fences that partition the track from the people, gates that open and close as train comes through, so people from being blown away by the turbulence the trains cause they pass through. And so overall, here in Japan, very safety oriented, but also taken up to the almost to the extremes, really. Because ultimately, the big thing you got in Japan is you got a reasonably high population spread over a wide area. So people heading to work between Tokyo, Kyoto, and some of the other big cities in the country. For many years, you did that by flying. So you flew from city to city, and until the 1990s, Japan Airlines were running domestic flights in Boeing 747s, all maxed out and full capacity because they were just that popular. So with the Japanese Olympics in the 1980s, I can't remember which year it was, but 1980s Japanese Olympics, essentially we wanted to build a all-new method of travel that was high capacity and high speed. So they started building the railway network, the Shinkansen, the new main line, and yeah, kind of from there, it became the famous Japanese bullet train, one I love to this day. But it's something that's definitely shrouded in history, the Shinkansens. And a lot of modern high-speed rail networks do use their basis off of what these are. Because fair enough, in the UK we have got the famous original railway network. A little bit faster, the 80s, just putting a little bit of braking and stop trying to go too fast. Yes, we got the original train network. The problem is, as a result, things aren't quite as smooth as they probably could be. So our standard gauge is a bit narrow in some cases to really allow for, say, double-decker trains. Use that in Germany, and actually not even without standard gauge, more the loading gauge. So the loading gauge of tunnels and bridges do limits the size of trains. So for example, in Germany, it's a lot wider loading gauge if we get double-decker trains. You look at Finland and Russia, they use a slightly wider track gauge with an extended loading gauge, and therefore double-decker services and high-speed services run a lot more freely. Yeah, in the UK, we don't have the perfect rail network, but certainly capable of what it's moving. In comparison to this, yeah, this is a whole different story. Hizumi station on the left-hand side there. I'll just pass by. The next station should also appear. Okay, fair enough. It's from a view from a footbridge on this occasion. Should listen to Brunel. Yes, I'll embarking in Brunel with his Brunel gauge, slightly wider than standard gauge. I'm sure there's a video actually a little while ago which I watched about what British Rail would be like if they used Brunel gauge instead, and just basically was, well, the answer is pretty much the same as this, just with slightly bigger trains. Morioka, 13 kilometers to go, so the next couple of minutes we'll start about to the slowdown and approach into the station. As it stands, we're about 50 seconds ahead of schedule, so there you go. That's the allowed to give me a heads up that we're approaching the station. Yes, we've got about 50 seconds to make any corrections that we do slip up on the approach. But yeah, about 4 kilometers, start the braking, avoid the emergency brakes if possible, and yeah, bring things in slowly from there. So we'll cut off the power now, let the train coast for the rest of this run, so no more throttle I don't think. Yeah, harbour down below now as the local lines run underneath us. There we go, down to 160, so apply a tiny bit of braking now. There we go, that'll do. Thank you, James, I find this interesting. There you go, 7 kilometers now to next station. Platform 13 we should be arriving at. So yeah, I'm slowly well, here in the map, because I keep pressing the wrong key. So used to using Train Sim World, with sudden Train Simulator camera controls, alien to me. This is Train Simulator, Mikolai. This is Train Simulator. If it's Train Sim World, then I put Train Sim World in the title and description. But no, this is bug old standard Train Simulator from Dottar Games. And this is the Just Trains Tohoku High Speed Rail and Main Line. It was about a week ago released, week and a half ago. Just to have my computer problems is when this route's released. So it is something I wanted to stream a little bit earlier on, but then everything pretty much exploded on me and I had to delay everything by about a week and two. So it's nice to get this kind of covered down the channel. And of course, it's a very fun route, this high speed, 320 km per hour. At some point, we'll also have a look at the local line as well, so the passenger line between Morioka and Kitakami. But for now, just our first look at the high-speed Shinkansen and go from there. What's up, dude? How are you? Welcome. Oh, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. What's the news? What's the news? As the sim slowly loads the scenery for this city. By slow load scenery, I mean very laggly load scenery. Right, apply the braking. Let's bring the train down to a halt. So slow down to 80 for the final approaching station. Gate line King's Cross. Good luck, dude. Do enjoy it. Yeah, the frame rate ain't great. I mean, my spec's not bad by any means. It's more of an issue with the older engine and some optimizations that need to be done with it. There you go, nice and smooth, by the brakes. I don't think there's anywhere in particular I need to stop, so we'll just carry on to the end of the platform. There is no real stop marker for different car lengths, so yeah, we'll just go right to the end. Another 80 meters to go now, based on the little clock at the bottom there. 2.05, 0.04. That'll do it. Doors released. Welcome to Morioka, where this train terminates. Yeah, I mean, even the whole architecture and design of the Shinkansen trains, they are, well, quirky. I mean, look at the size of that nose. But they are, it's a thing of beauty. And again, the benefit of that does enable them to reach super high speeds that, honestly, most train networks can't even dream of. 12 lights now since this train is terminating here, so brakes set, throttle off, train in neutral. Down below you've got the local Morioka station, so these are all going to be the slightly narrow gauge local platforms. You can see not quite as wide as you stand up above. Well, depends on the line really, so you can see that's a narrow gauge, that one's more standard gauge. Guess which line's newer than the other. But what can you say? It's a detailed route actually, I'll give them credit with Just Trains. It's a detailed routes and they have done pretty good definition between the different railway lines. Also, concrete sleepers for the Shinkansen. Those eventually move into independent concrete sleepers. And down below, it's all standard wood for the. Well, actually, I could be wrong. I think there's a concrete as well. Concrete. Fair enough. Maybe Japan just uses dedicated concrete panelling. Yeah, it's all concrete. What you learn every day, eh? Also, down underneath the high-speed line, got terminate platform as well, right up to the buffers. So yeah, very detailed bit of track this, little detailed station, which overall, pretty good scenario pack I'd say. Once again, inside the cab. Around the cab view, of course. It's 3, 4. There we go, 4. 3x2 seating. I don't believe this is one of the newer Shinkansens that have the seats that swivel. So in newer trains, all train seats face forwards, and essentially they spin around on the pivot axis when the train terminates. So the seats will spin around and then face the direction of travel. When the older sets, we'll just have the train seats in standard position. I know how to change view on the rail drive controller. If we can. No, you can't, that's fine then. So if we just use this to change carriage, fair enough, carriage locks, fair enough. Yeah, overall, pretty decent run there. So we'll give it another 30 seconds or so, end the scenario, and have a look at the route there. Yes, this is the train's high-speed route. This is the Shinkansen from the Shinkansen, Tohoku high-speed rail and main line from JT. Right, let's have a look at the scenario. So E5 series train, Tohoku inline high speed, and lost a few points there. So speeding, speeding. Motion brakes were applied by accident. Yeah, like I say, I'm not perfect with the trains there. So actually, we're only 20 seconds late for the first station at Ichinoseki. Even with a slight off braking, we weren't particularly bad on the first station there. On time for the Morioka stop, that's pretty good. Departure initially was 89 seconds late. Gosh, we were very late out of Sendai. If anything, we picked up time for the stop at Ichinoseki. Fair enough. Enough for a gold medal though, so gains a total of 3097 XP, so I'll definitely take that. And yeah, overall, pretty chuffed for that. So, that was the Just Trains Tohoku High Speed Rail and Mainline. That was a very fast look at it. At some point next week, we'll have a look at the passenger mainline run. So, we'll do a service out between Morioka and Kitakami. But for now, bring things to an end. I got myself prepared tomorrow for the final Santa run at the RLR, so hopefully get myself ready for that. Yeah, so thank you for watching, guys. You take care of yourselves. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you again soon for some more Train Simulator action. It's good to be back. It's been a while since last stream's Train Sim, but it's good to be back on running with this platform again. Take care of yourselves, have a good one, and bye-bye.